Welcome to Games from Folktales, a podcast that mixes historical research and tabletop role-playing settings. I'm your host, Timothy Ferguson. This week, The Ballad of Inchcape Rock. I've wanted to do some of Robert Southey's poems for a while because in one of them there's a cavernous city underneath the bedrock of the Mediterranean where there's a cult of necromancers, and I think they'd make great rivals for the Order of Hermes, but we won't be doing them today. Instead, we are getting the origin story for a pirate ghost, magical or infernal, that would allow you to reuse the material in Tales of Power. Inchcape Rock is about 13 miles, which means it's in Lochlegan Tribunal, but you could move it around if you wished. An odd little note, for a while there was an attempt in England to set up relays of bells to aid lost shepherds. Thomas de Quincey wanted to spread this poem as widely as possible to teach it to children and so on, as a way to convince people not to damage these bells. Now, de Quincey is already known to us because he is the writer who presented us with the Three Mothers. The statistics for the Three Mothers are already up on the Atlas Forum. They will be up on the blog that accompanies this podcast in the next few days. The following is from LibriVox. It's by Daniel Davison. Thanks to Daniel and his production team. I won't be starting this one up because you can just reskin Eustace the Monk from Tales of Power.
The Inchcape Rock by Robert Southey. Read for LibriVox.org by Daniel Davison. No stir in the air, no stir in the sea. The ship was still as she could be. Her sails from heaven received no motion. Her keel was steady in the ocean. Without either sign or sound of their shock, the waves flowed over the Inchcape Rock. So little they rose, so little they fell, they did not move the Inchcape bell. The abbot of Aberbrothock had placed that bell on the Inchcape Rock. On a buoy in the storm it floated and swung, and over the waves its warning rung. When the rock was hid by the surge's swell, the mariners heard the warning bell, and then they knew the perilous rock, and blessed the abbot of Aberbrothock. The sun in heaven was shining gay, all things were joyful on that day. The sea-birds screamed as they wheeled round, and there was joyance in their sound. The buoy of the Inchcape bell was seen, a darker speck on the ocean green. Sir Ralph the Rover walked his deck, and he fixed his eye on the darker speck. He felt the cheering power of spring. It made him whistle, it made him sing. His heart was mirthful to excess, but the rover's mirth was wickedness. His eye was on the Inchcape float. Quoth he, my men, put out the boat, and row me to the Inchcape Rock, and I'll plague the abbot of Aberbrothock. The boat is lowered, the boatmen row, and to the Inchcape Rock they go. Sir Ralph bent over from the boat, and he caught the bell from the Inchcape float. Down sunk the bell with a gurgling sound, the bubbles rose and burst around. Quoth Sir Ralph, the next who comes to the rock won't bless the abbot of Aberbrothock. Sir Ralph the Rover sailed away, he scoured the seas for many a day, and now grown rich with plundered store, he steers his course for Scotland's shore. So thick a haze o'erspreads the sky, they cannot see the sun on high. The wind hath blown a gale all day, at evening it hath died away. On the deck the rover takes his stand, so dark it is they see no land. Quoth Sir Ralph, it will be lighter soon, for there is the dawn of the rising moon. "Canst hear," said one, "the breakers roar? For methinks we should be near the shore. Now where we are I cannot tell, but I wish I could hear the Inchcape bell." They hear no sound, the swell is strong, though the wind hath fallen they drift along, till the vessel strikes with a shivering shock. Oh Christ! It is the Inchcape Rock! Sir Ralph the Rover tore his hair, he cursed himself in his despair. The waves rush in on every side, the ship is sinking beneath the tide. But even in his dying fear, one dreadful sound could the Rover hear, a sound as if with the Inchcape bell the devil below was ringing his knell.
Your saga may vary.